50 Cent is hitting the road. The Final Lap Tour 2023.
Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. I've never done that before. So I thought today we're doing things we've never done before. I've never sang that intro before, so why not do something different? And today I saw a commercial, a spot, for an upcoming concert tour by Live Nation, specifically for 50 Cent. I've never done a concert promo before in reading these YouTube ads. So when this ad was played to me, I thought, oh, this is going to be great. It's perfect. So it's been almost 3 years and I've never done this. Oh, wait, 31. Yeah. Reading YouTube ads, 31 is what we're doing today. And so every month I try and I find one YouTube ad that's played to me organically when I'm waiting to watch my YouTube video. There are always ads that pop up in the beginning. And if I like the ad, I make note of it. I transcribe it. I see if I can find it. And a few weeks back, I saw this one. Concert promo, 50 Cent. You know I'm a big 50 Cent fan. Okay, I'm not, but I appreciate the singles and the pop music. But I saw this and I thought this is going to be exciting. So here's the script here. And this was, I think this was a 15. Yeah, this was a 15. 50 Cent is hitting the road. I'm not sure if it's 50 Cent, but the way, so it was female voice, and she said 50 Cent, and neutral, a neutral American female voice. So no accent, no, just kind of, I say middle of the road, but she still had kind of a little bit of a hype energy to her. 50 Cent is hitting the road. It's going to be awesome. You know, she wasn't especially like urban, or she wasn't leaning too hard in any direction. Female voice, neutral American. 50 Cent is hitting the road. And she didn't say hitting. She said hitting is hitting the road. The Final Lap Tour 2023. Celebrating Get Rich or Die Trying 20 years later. Featuring Busta Rhymes and special guest Jeremiah. Okay, I remember Busta Rhymes. Jeremiah, I don't know who that is. I'll just be open with you. But when I heard that, I thought, did she mispronounce it? Isn't it Jeremiah? No, it's Jeremiah. Okay, did a little Google snooping. Whenever you're unsure, what the heck is this I'm about to read, or you don't know a product name or a pronunciation, Google it. Try and look it up and teach yourself something new. So I don't know this person, but I learned that their name is pronounced Jeremiah. Okay, not Jeremiah. Register now for verified fan at 50cent.com. Also, what's kind of cool is as she's reading this, okay, so there's music hooks that are playing underneath her, and they put a little EQ treatment on her voice. So she reads it, and in post they put an EQ, parametric EQ, and they put what's called a high pass filter on her, HP, high pass. So it only allows the highs to pass, and you can control at what frequency do you want this to engage. And I was kind of messing around with it, and roughly I found that if I put the high pass filter and put the cutoff right at 225 hertz, and I'll put a screenshot here of the rough settings that I used here. So high pass filter. So it's basically cutting out the lows, and you tell it where you want it to start to activate, where you want it to start removing low end. And I don't want to get too technical because I realize that might not be your thing. But I encourage you to kind of play around with the EQ setting on your DAW, and call up an EQ, parametric EQ, and click the HP button or the high pass filter and set it to 225, and then subtract it, bring it down. Okay. Yeah. And then, oh, okay. Also, there are music hooks that are playing underneath her. There are 3 music hooks. It starts with a 50 Cent music hook, and then I think it goes to a Busta Rhymes music hook, and then it ends with another 50 Cent. Hold on a second. Ends with a third 50 Cent music hook. And the tricky thing is, from my days in radio, I was taught that when you're recording a concert promo, you don't want to use music that has speaking or singing underneath your voice because that's too distracting. So that was radio. However, this is YouTube or TV or visual. And so right from the beginning of this ad, you have that additional benefit of the visual, knowing that this is 50 Cent because they show him on there with the graphic. Okay, so that information tells your brain what this is. And so I guess it's acceptable to have singing or rapping underneath you while you're doing your voice. But try to make sure that that music is not, push it down. Make sure it's not louder than you are. So I guess one other thing that helps is that with the female voice, there's no mistaking female voice versus any of the three male performers on this tour, or in these hooks. So there's a definite difference in those timbres of vocals. However, for male, it might be a little challenging or a little tricky, and that's where the parametric EQ will benefit me, because it kind of helps my voice to cut through. So let's read this for the heck of it, just maybe for timing. I'll start a timer. I'll tell you what, it's supposed to be 15 seconds, so I'll use this. 50 Cent is hitting the road. Hitting the road. 50 Cent is hitting the road. The Final Lap Tour 2023, celebrating Get Rich or Die Trying 20 years later, featuring Busta Rhymes and special guest Jeremiah. Register now for verified fan at 50cent.com. Oh, okay, I pushed it a little late. Okay, let's try it again. 15 roughly. Let's try it again. 50 Cent is hitting the road. The Final Lap Tour 2023, celebrating Get Rich or Die Trying 20 years later, featuring Busta Rhymes and special guest Jeremiah. Register now for verified fan at 50cent.com. Okay, I'm a little slow with getting there, but you can see I'm in the ballpark. I'm roughly at 15, so I'm going to put this away. Let's try one. It's going to be fun. Let's get right to it. So again, I'm going to put it to the video. I'm going to apply my parametric EQ setting. I'll add a little bit of compression, maybe just to make it a little more crunchy feeling. But let's try this. Here we go.
50 Cent is hitting the road. The Final Lap Tour 2023, celebrating Get Rich or Die Trying 20 years later, featuring Busta Rhymes and special guest Jeremiah. Register now for verified fan at 50cent.com.
I like that. I wanted to take a moment to show you something cool. So as I was putting together, reconstructing this spot, you have all your hooks here. You have your first hook there, and then it kind of segues into the same song right there. So these two hooks right here are part of the same song. And then it goes into a different song right there. And if you can look close, you can see they're titled. So that's hook number 2, or song number 2, and then it goes into song number 3, and then it segues into song number 4. Now you can have all these on different tracks if you want, but I just put them all on one track for the heck of it. But if you listen to this transition here,
I take you to the candy shop.
okay, that makes sense. It's on beat. So from this part of the song to this part of the song, there's nothing unusual here. To listen to this here, this area right here. Well, here, I'll tell you what. I'll just play it from the beginning. Listen to the transitions from hook 1 to hook 2, and then from hook 2 to hook 3, and then hook 3 to hook 4. Nothing unusual to listen for. I just want to show you by comparison something cool that I discovered.
I take you to the candy shop. Go, 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 go.
Okay, so that faded in from one to the other.
Shorty, it's your birthday.
Okay, so this was kind of not an abrupt cut, but it just faded out, and then it faded into the Busta Rhymes tune right here. There, I'll back it up.
Birthday.
And then that was a crossfade from the Busta Rhymes song back to another 50 Cent song. But what was interesting that, again, when I was reconstructing this, I noticed, I realized, and I learned something kind of cool today, that they're using this transition sound effect that looks like this. It's this whoosh sound effect here, and I'll solo this. And so I just found that, and I just pasted it here too, and then pasted it here too. So what that serves to do is it helps to kind of smooth out and the transition, even though my voice appears on top here. There's my green voice here, where I'm talking. But these whoosh transitions were actually kind of cool. And so when I worked in radio, I worked in the smooth jazz format, and our transitions were a little smoother from one song to another. And I shouldn't say smoother, smooth jazz, but our kind of station wasn't the kind of station that would facilitate a whoosh transition like this. So listen to how it sounds with the whoosh transitions in place.
I take you to the candy shop. Go, 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 shorty, it's your birthday. Go ahead and
Okay, so that is kind of a more exciting sound, and I learned this today because I've never used these transitions as they're almost kind of like Band-Aids, you know, to distract from the fact that, well, without them, we'd have nothing there, except, I mean, you'd have my talking on top. But these transitions that kind of appear on over the seams right here kind of help the overall production value. And I learned something new today, and I wanted to share that with you. And yeah, again, something different we're doing today. Okay, I'm also going to do something that I haven't done in a while. We're reading 2 ads today. I saw yesterday, actually last night, I saw a movie trailer for an upcoming comedy called About My Father. And this features comedian Sebastian Maniscalco. He's been out he's been doing his thing for decades, but he in more recent years, he's become popular. And also I learned that he grew up in the northwestern suburbs of Chicago, and I grew up on the northwest side of Chicago. So I think that's pretty cool. So Sebastian Maniscalco and Robert De Niro plays his father, and it's a comedy called About My Father. And I think the trailer's 30 seconds, 15 or 30. You're going to see it. But it's just the tag that comes at the end, and he says, About My Father, rated PG-13, May 26th. Also, you can kind of hear this if you lean into it a little bit. You can hear there are edits. He says, About My Father. And then before he finishes the word father, the next phrase comes in, rated PG-13, like on top of him. Excuse me. So in post, they're editing him. They're taking About My Father, and then they put the rated PG-13 in it, and it appears, well, I'll put it underneath here. It appears the rated PG-13 part starts before the first part has ended, and then it's May 26th. Now, obviously live, there's no way anybody can do that live. If I wanted to do this in post, that's no problem. But be aware that sometimes they do that. They'll take your speech, maybe it's 4 seconds, and they'll squish it, they'll time compress it and make it 3.5 seconds. And then not only that, they'll start the second line underneath before your first line has ended. About My Father, rated PG-13, May 26th. That's basically the tag. Also, this is a comedy, so it's not trying to be big Transformers or Iron Man or Guardians of the Galaxy voice. It's a little lighter, so it's not About My Father, rated PG-13. It's a comedy. So we just came out of a joke or a gag or a funny situation, and you jump in there and you go, About My Father, rated PG-13, May 26th. That's literally what it is. And so I have to be careful. I don't mean to diminish the work here. I don't mean to say that's all it is, because people who do this are amazingly skilled and have been doing it forever. So I have nothing but respect for them. But let's try this. It is a, let me check my notes here. Is it a 15 or a 30? I want to know. Okay, it's a 15 second. So let's give it a shot. I'll see you at the end, and I'll see you in 15 seconds.
I hope nothing gets stolen this weekend. These people love to blame the immigrants.
I don't know if this is great or an Italian version of Get Out. Sebastian, your suit!
It's not up!
My mom can't unsee that!
About My Father, rated PG-13, May 26th.
There we go. That was fun. Okay, reading YouTube ads. This was month 31. I want to leave you with this quote. I was reminded of this recently, and the quote is, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Do you know who said that? Henry Ford said that. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So a lot of it has to do with how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself. You are the loudest voice in your own head, and oftentimes you are the biggest obstacle or the proponent, the biggest cheerleader or the biggest thing in your own way. So consider that. I don't want to get too heavy on you, but that phrase, that particular quote kind of came to me recently, and I like that, and I wanted to share that with you. Okay, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for hanging with me. Speak soon.